Hi everyone, today we've got some breaking news from Chanel. Just yesterday, the brand announced that Virginie Viard will be stepping down. Yes, it's official, she is out. She is no longer going to serve as the artistic director of the brand. Now, Virginie had been with the brand for about 3 decades, and she was handpicked by Karl Lagerfeld before his passing to succeed her. So she was stepping into some big shoes. Of course, as we know, Karl Lagerfeld was legendary, and he was with the brand for about 35 years, starting from the 80s. But Virginie's time has come. Only 5 years tenure as the artistic director. She's on her way out. Lots of mixed reviews here. Some people are saying, yes, finally she needs to go. She hasn't done anything fresh for the brand. And others are saying, oh, that's sad because I really liked her designs. She made everything more wearable. So it's mixed. Now, Karl was absolutely bold and inventive and legendary in his own personality, his own style. And he was front and center with the brand, wasn't he? He was just an icon. Now, Virginie was very different. She was more quiet, not necessarily a wallflower, but she wasn't front and center with the media. She was more subdued in her style. So very much the antithesis of what we were used to with Karl. Now, people say that Karl was an absolute change agent, that he was a challenger, he was a disruptor, and you can see that with his designs, with his runway shows. You can see that with his sketching, the way he went about everything. It was just his own way. Karl put Karl's stamp on everything. Well, they're saying that Virginie was more of a caretaker of the brand, kind of, took over the reins after Karl's passing and just kept things going, but there was nothing interesting, cool, innovative happening. So that's what critics have been saying. Here's a famous sketch from Karl. And of course, he had some epic runway shows, of course, right? They're also saying that Virginie failed to appeal to younger consumers, that they felt that her designs fell flat. So I don't know if you agree with that or not. You can obviously see here with Karl, if you were to look at any of his runway shows, it was just eye-catching, whether it was your style or not. This is his final show, final show, very emotional. But you can see here again, whether it's your aesthetic or not, just super eye-catching and gorgeously done. Even the setting, right? The environment that's set up for this show. Look at that. Gorgeous. I absolutely love this look. Gosh, it's all orchestrated perfectly. There was an undeniable magic, a flair, dramatics, something special during the Karl Lagerfeld era. And when you look at luxury fashion at that time, it was quite magical. And some people are saying that magic has dissolved, has dissipated over the years, not just for Chanel, but across the industry. So that would be a whole nother topic, interesting to explore. Anyway, here is the latest show that just came out last month with Virginie's collection. And, it's nice. It's not sensational. It's not Karl level. That's why people are saying it's kind of boring. It's a little bit predictable. She has maintained the classic Chanel embellishments and vibe, but there's nothing really fresh, right? So you can't argue with that. So I'm going to share with you some of the comments that I saw under this runway show. One says, simply depressing. I mean, that kind of says it all, how she feels or he feels. Then the other one says the clothing looks like it's from Zara, is not Chanel. Ooh, that's bad. And then I do wish Karl Lagerfeld was still here. The Chanel collections in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s were really special. Yeah. It's not about Karl. He's not coming back, but so endlessly boring. It's amazing. So you see the trends here of what people are saying. It's funny how a location or a set can make a collection worse than it already is. How is it such a Chanel should be aspirational and dreamlike, and this is not it? Yeah. Now, let's not be too harsh on Virginie, because think about it. Before Karl Lagerfeld took the helm, prior to him, the only other artistic director at Chanel was Coco Chanel herself, the Coco Chanel. So think about that. As far as I'm concerned, Gabrielle Coco Chanel is the woman behind the brand. She was the first lady of Chanel. She is Chanel. She embodies the brand. She is the brand. So when she passed, Karl Lagerfeld had huge shoes to fill, and he did an amazing job. Spectacular, right? He left his own unique imprint on the brand. And so when he handpicked Virginie to succeed him, there were high expectations. I mean, he chose her from the inside. And as much as we might say that she didn't meet expectations and she didn't bring anything fresh or new or creative, well, at least that's what the critics are saying. In terms of sales, revenue exploded. Last year alone, it was $20 billion. That was a 16% increase year over year. So that makes me wonder if it's not the sales. Now, at the end of the day, it's a business, so it's always about the sales. But if it's not just about the sales, what could it be about? Well, we know that Chanel doesn't have a menswear collection. They've done collabs in the past. They did a collab with Pharrell Williams not too long ago, where they introduced a couple of pieces here and there. But for the most part, if you see a man wearing Chanel, they've just purchased the larger sizes from the women's wear collections, okay? So there are rumors swirling that Pharrell Williams may be plucked out of Louis Vuitton. I think it's very unlikely. He's still quite new in his position with Louis Vuitton. He's doing a lot. He's getting a lot of buzz, but I don't think it's going to be him. And frankly, I don't want it to be him. Next, we've got Marc Jacobs, probably the most interesting contender. Marc Jacobs has been a fan of Chanel for a long time, fashion fanatic, and of course, designer who kind of peaked when he was with Louis Vuitton and then he left to start his own brand. But you could kind of see him at Chanel. Can't you? I mean, it's interesting because Marc Jacobs, he really has that appeal to younger consumers. He kind of modernized luxury when he was with Louis Vuitton. He also quadrupled their business at the time, so he is a proven entity. He's also very commercial, isn't he? And he's described as having like streetwise aesthetics, a mashup of a little preppy, a little grunge, and a little couture. So what do you guys think? Can you imagine Marc Jacobs as the new artistic director of Chanel? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Let me know your thoughts below. There is another contender, and this is Hedi Slimane. He was with Dior and Saint Laurent, and then more recently Celine, but he stepped down from Celine, so he could technically be someone that Chanel is considering. Rumors have been swirling for years that Hedi Slimane would be recruited over at Chanel, and it has never happened, at least not yet. So this could continue to be more rumors, or maybe Chanel is considering blowing out a menswear collection at some point. And if so, then Hedi Slimane would be kind of a natural pick because he's known for his menswear. He's kind of rock and roll. He did that with Dior and Saint Laurent, and then again with Celine. So he's kind of predictable in that way, but predictable could be good for Chanel if they wanted to launch their first menswear collection with him. So I don't know. And then there's also talks of Phoebe Philo. This is not going to happen, you guys. I don't think, at least. She is backed by LVMH. She finally debuted her own namesake collection recently. It kind of flopped, in my opinion. I don't think it's very impressive. And then you've got another female contender, Sarah Burton, who stepped down from Alexander McQueen. She was there for 2 decades, so that was another shakeup in the industry. She actually started at Alexander McQueen as an intern. She designed Kate Middleton's wedding dress, got some fame for that. So she's also a free agent, and some people are saying she might be the next one for Chanel, but I don't know if I see it. I think her overall aesthetic is not very Chanel, but who knows? Then you've got some people saying that they hope it's Pier Paolo from Valentino that will take over as director of Chanel. Now, he was with Valentino up until March of this year, and so he's also a contender. I think there are others out there that we probably aren't talking about, and it would kind of be cool to have a fresh face. So what do you guys think? Who do you think is the strongest contender? And are there others that haven't been named in this video that you think should be considered? If so, leave a comment down below. I just wish that we could have Coco come back from the grave and tell us who would she choose to take over her brand. Wouldn't that be interesting? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.